Welcome, SFL Nation, to Jacksonville, Florida, the home of the next SFL convention. And if you're a Sioux Falls Sparrow or Sparrow fan, welcome to Florida. Your first game in the Panhandle State ever. In 116 franchise games, Sioux Falls has never played in Florida, and they get to tonight alongside Gerald Smith, Charles Doherty. I'm Cameron Irvine. A battle of 3-2 teams, Charles, here tonight. This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We've got two of the oldest, most prestigious franchises in the SFL playing tonight. Both teams are looking to get back in the win column. Sioux Falls comes to Jacksonville's house for the first time, like you said. Sioux Falls has beaten Jacksonville all three times they've played. Jacksonville's 1-1 at home this season. Sioux Falls is 1-1 on the road. Cam, this is going to be a brawl. Let's buckle up for a wild one.
Sioux Falls in some yellow get-ups tonight with the S's on the shoulders. Sioux Falls has won the toss, and they defer to the second half. Your final thoughts, Charles, before kick?
Well, again, I think this is going to be quite the game. We've got Sioux Falls is going to have to slow down Jacksonville's high-flying passing attack. Jacksonville is going to have to slow down Sioux Falls' rushing attack and make them go to the air. Both teams this season have started out pretty slow in the first quarter. I believe the leader at the end of the first quarter is going to be the one that brings home the win.
We'll see if that comes to fruition. For now, Sioux Falls' Maxwell Falk has the ball on the tee and the hand in the air. Kick it! You're watching the SFL Sunday night in prime time as Hunter Jones returns the kick out to the 24. And we get things moving with Christian Christensen coming out for the first offensive snap of the night.
Yeah, Christensen's having a great season so far. He's number 3 in passing yards, number 3 in percentage complete, and tied for second in passing touchdowns.
1st and 10 at the 24 of the Jacksonville Kings, and with 2 in the backfield, Christensen will fire it short over the middle. That pass is caught for a 9-yard pickup. The rest of this offense with that catch was tight end Jack Wall. The receivers on the outside, Hunter Jones, number 10, Grayson Willis, number 11, and of course, Ken Gossett, number 84. Your kicker, number 8, Mike Klein Jr. They call it getting inside the Klein line here in Jacksonville to get the 3 points. And of course, Christensen, your unquestioned leader at quarterback. Flip outside, caught by Willis, and that'll be enough for the first down to the 37-yard line. And let's meet the Sioux Falls defense led by A.J. Levy in his 7th season on the line. James Kelly, number 90, Jonathan Camp, number 96. The linebackers, number 91, Alex Parker, number 52, Jose Fuentes, number 92, Nick Fargo, a talented unit. Corners, 26, John Barnhart, 34, Terrell Davis, and the free safety is number 31, Jay Ringgold. A very quick pass over the middle to Grayson Willis, picks up 7 yards for Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight, Cam. One of the things about Christensen and this offense is he doesn't hold on to the ball too long. He gets the ball out real quickly. It's very frustrating for a defensive line.
Jacksonville, white helmets, purple jerseys, white pants, white numbers, and the yellow goldish trim. Sioux Falls in the black helmets and all yellows tonight. That pass is caught, sort of dumped off on a little curl route at the line of scrimmage to Wall. Doesn't pick up much with Fuentes in the area. It'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, I think he heard the wall starting to collapse in the pocket and had to get rid of it, and smartly he got it off the wall to see if he could do something with the ball.
You made a rhyme there, Charles. Boy, 2 minutes into the game, we're already cooking.
Yeah, I do birthday parties, too.
Christensen's pass down the middle into traffic is caught. How in the world was that caught by Gossett? First down to the 41-yard line of Sioux Falls.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, I did not expect him to be able to bring that in with all those defenders around. It just shows you what kind of receiver Gossett is. He's tied for 5th in the league in receptions.
Jacksonville have themselves a drive here early on. 8:35 to go in the first quarter of play. Trips off the left side. And Christensen will take a quick drop back and great protection. Fires it out to Gossett wide open for an 18-yard pickup. The tackle on the outside for the second time already this game made by Levy, first down near the red zone.
Looks like the Sioux Falls defense was playing up on the line there, a little man-to-man. They got lost in the shuffle, and Gossett was able to get out there and wide open for the pass.
There's another look at Levy crashing down. Alex Parker was also there for the assisted tackle. So another fresh set of downs for the Kings. They are moving. Christensen is 6 for 6 for 52 yards on this opening drive. Back for his 7th attempt. Deep ball to the end zone, just shy of it. Gossett, another catch, and another Levy tackle at the 4.
It's just incredible when you watch Christensen in the pocket. I mean, he rarely holds on to it for more than 2 seconds. Again, it's frustrating for any line that's trying to get in there and put pressure on him.
And this is about as lightning quick of a first few minutes of a ball game. It doesn't feel like Jacksonville's had the ball for 3 minutes and 20 seconds already, but they have.
It seems like they're moving down the field at ease.
First and goal at the 4 for the Kings. Gossett's at the top of the screen. Hunter Jones in the slot there. Christensen will throw again. Christensen near corner of the end zone is knocked away by Terrell Davis, and finally an incompletion for Jacksonville as Sioux Falls going with a little bit of a throwback look tonight with the all-black helmets.
Yeah, I think Davis needed to do that to help that defense get settled in a little bit here on the goal line, keep that drive of Jacksonville from getting in the end zone.
Second and goal at the 4. 2 receivers to the top of the screen and 8 in the box. The play action from Christensen. Fire back of the end zone. Tried to drag the feet, and honestly, Charles, I thought he did.
It looked like he got one in, didn't it?
Grayson Willis, an acrobatic job to try to make the play, and I don't think Nick Fargo should be directing him to look up at the board.
There we go.
He might have just tipped off Coach Gooden to throw that challenge flag.
And there's, I thought that was Andy Hamilton there on the sideline with the camera, but maybe not.
He does lurk on the sidelines from time to time. Let's take a look at this game. If he actually did make this catch, what a heck of a catch in the back of the end zone for Grayson.
Oh, no. Oh, man. I think he was on the paint.
He got the back foot
maybe it was
in,
the back foot.
but
We'll see.
Yep, they're going to say that it stood because I think his right foot was out of bounds first before he dragged the left foot, the back foot.
That was a good challenge, though. I mean, even though they didn't get it. Because it looked, at our speed, it looked like it was in.
Boy, tough break for the Kings there. I thought they might have had something, but I think overall that was a good call. And Jason1347, who owns the Sparrows in the chat, says, nay, 3rd and goal at the 4. Empty backfield for Christensen. Will fire, and it's popped up in the end zone and incomplete. And a drive that spans 9 plays, all passes, will come to an end with a Mike Klein field goal to try to get the Kings on the board first.
Yeah, Sioux Falls has to pat themselves on the back on stopping this high-flying offense from getting in the end zone. Once you get close to that end zone, that quick pass is a lot harder to do because there's not as much space to get the ball in.
So Klein will come on to kick a chip shot, 21-yard field goal, down a timeout, nearly blocked. The kick is good, and the Kings have tonight's first points on the board. 3-0. We'll get a chance to see Julian Tyree on the field next for Sioux Falls. It's just crazy to me, Charles, that these two teams, that Sioux Falls has never played in Florida. They have been in this league for years, and all 3 meetings were at their place in this matchup. So this is a tough hill to climb for Sioux Falls, who's lost 2 straight as he returns that up to the 20-yard line. And we were talking about these previous meetings. The last time these two got together, Charles, Colin Hart had 43 touches for 229 total yards in another Sioux Falls victory.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it doesn't look like they've been using him in the passing game as much this season as they've had in the past. Let's see if that changes tonight.
First down and 10 at the 21-yard line. 7:12 to go. The first play will be a handoff to Hart, and Hart got a block, but very late in the play. That tackle made by Anthony Wayo in his 5th season formerly of Houston.
It looks like Sioux Falls this season is relying a little bit more heavily on the run, or maybe better yet, they're more successful in the run than they are in the pass. And the danger there is if they get behind in this game, it's going to be hard for them to come back.
2 backs and 2 receivers as Tyree will flip out a backwards pass to Hart, and he'll lose 2 yards on that play. And let's take a look at this Sioux Falls offense. Tyree in his 9th season, one of the all-time greats. Colin Hart and Jalen Wells, part of the reason why they're running the ball so well this year. Receivers A.J. Warren, Gunnar Lewis, Al Dupree Sr. We'll get to that unit in a moment. Noe Terrazas and Maxwell Falk, the kicker, also part of this star-studded offense. That pass caught down the field by Gunnar Lewis in just his 2nd game this season.
Yeah, that's a big first down for Sioux Falls. Like we said, they're not known for being able to air it out that much in their previous games. But one of the things they're going to have a challenge with is that Jacksonville defense. I mean, I was looking at the numbers before the game. It's every player that has a contract with this team has at least 1 pass deflection except for 1 on the line. It's crazy.
2 in the backfield, 1st and 10 at the 39. Tyree's going to keep it up the middle, and Julian Tyree against 3 defensive linemen worth noting picks up 7 yards. And on that note, let's take a look at this phenomenal defensive front. Tyquan Hale and Hunter Norwood, number 91 and 74 respectively, lead the way. Alex Bond, at strong safety in his 6th season, is the headliner in the secondary. J.R. Lawless and Chad Guy are your linebackers to keep an eye on tonight, as that handoff goes inside to Wells, and he picks up about a 1.5 yard gain. Lawless on the tackle.
I'm sure that Colin Hart's ecstatic to have Wells on the team. Anytime coming as a running back, anytime you've got a good fullback in front of you helping you block, it brings a smile to your face.
So 2 straight runs, and neither to Hart. 1 to Tyree and 1 to Wells to start. 3rd and 2. 4:50 to go in the first quarter. The handoff goes up the middle to the 46-yard line of Jacksonville. It's Wells again. And like the Kings, the Sparrows are moving the ball on their opening drive.
And it looks like the defense was keying on Colin Hart on that play, and the offensive line was given a lot of favors there for for Wells to run up that middle. The hole was outstanding.
So the first quarter ticking away, and Sioux Falls holding their own here on the road. A battle of 3 and 2 teams. It's one of only 2 matchups this week in the SFL that pit 2 teams above 500 against one another, as the pass all the way down the field to A.J. Warren is incomplete, knocked away by Bernard Gooden. And you were making a point before we got on the air, Charles, about the unbelievable records of pass defenses for this Jacksonville defense.
Definitely. They've got 39 total coming into this game. And like I said before, well, Michael Sprouse has 10 on his own, but every player has one, I think, with the exception of Tyquan Hale.
That's almost 8 a game for that Jacksonville defense. It's just pretty impressive. 2nd and 10 at the 46 off the incompletion. Tyree empty, going long, and it's caught wide open, and Lewis nearly broke a tackle. Sprouse saved a touchdown, but 49 yards on 2 receptions early for Gunnar Lewis. He was wide open.
Yeah, definitely wide open. It looked like the defender turned his head at the wrong time and was able to get, Gunnar was able to get some separation there. That was a great pass and great reception by Lewis.
1st and 10 at the 11. And Tyree again will go out of the gun. So after sort of lulling Jacksonville to sleep a little bit at the start of the drive, getting a little bit more aggressive as they reach the red zone. Tyree, middle, caught, down to the 3, a 9-yard gain. Tackle made by Lawless, and the reception made by Dillapre Sr., who caught his first career touchdown earlier this month.
Well, they're using players on the offense that aren't the big targets like Hart and A.J. Warren. So right now the defense is going to have to think about maybe moving some coverage off those other 2 and putting it on these other guys.
Tyree's 4 for 5 for 58 yards. 2nd and 1 at the 3 of Jacksonville. Handoff, Wells, the fullback. He sort of stopped in quicksand, and he actually can still, whoa, pushing and shoving out there by the
settle down, gentlemen.
By the big uglies. My goodness, getting chippy early here. They can get the first down, Sioux Falls, Cam, without getting a touchdown.
Yeah, look, I thought he actually got tackled there for a second. I was waiting for the play to stop.
3rd and inches at the 1. You don't often see that. Handoff,
that.
Wells,
Wow.
touchdown. Hale tried to corral him, but not before Wells reaches the end zone, crosses the goal line, and Sioux Falls takes the lead on their first possession.
Now, outstanding drive. Nice balance of play selection there, use of the fullback. And, again, they're using players that the defense isn't expecting to have such prominent roles in this game plan.
Jonathan Camp in the chat using the kapows of Sioux Falls. And if you want to get involved in the chat tonight to discuss the action with all of SFL Nation, visit twitch.tv/FTFnext for your access to all the players around the league. It's really a massive community and a wonderful community. At that, the extra point is blocked, and Falk Flack cannot take advantage, and Sioux Falls lead will stay at 3. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans, and we'll take a break. We'll be right back to Florida after these messages. Back here in Jacksonville, 6-3. Both teams score on their opening possession. Sioux Falls gets the touchdown, but the extra point is blocked. And the Kings will field the kickoff from their 3 up to the 28-yard line. Chat shout-outs to Flash 2500, Kumbaya 24, Jack Wall SFL, Jonathan Camp, Jason 1347, Hog Fan James, Crew Knox, Mince in Mind, Harris Walton, and many others in the chat tonight. 2:50 to go in the first quarter. First down at the 28-yard line. 3 receivers, 2 off the right side for Christensen. He'll fire it out far side to Ken Gossett. He makes the catch, a 5-yard gain with forward progress. Barnhart on the tackle.
The first time Jacksonville had the ball, they went in 11 plays, 71 yards down the field, and the defense of Sioux Falls just dug in and kept them out of the end zone. And they were doing the same type of plays here, those quick outs, quick releases. Let's see if they can follow through and get the ball in the end zone on this drive.
Second down, half to go, although it's quite a long 5, call it 5.5. Look at how far the corner is off of Gossett there at the top of the screen, about 15 yards difference. Christensen going long, and the pass is caught by Grayson Willis, and Willis has been an exceptional target through the first 5 games of the season for the Kings.
He's actually the number 1 target of Christensen, and he's in the league. He's second place in receptions, 3rd in yards, and tied for 7th in touchdowns. So he's having a great season so far.
Davis whacked him at the end of the play, but not before Willis gets back into Sparrow territory. First and 10 at the Sioux Falls 47-yard line with 2:05 to go in the first quarter. Christensen out of the gun. 4-3 look for Sioux Falls. All the linebackers back out into coverage. Willis breaks a tackle, and where was Terrell Davis going? It looked like he came off the sideline and nearly made a play. I thought at first there was a unsightly streaker on the field.
So far, Christensen's having all the time to impose his will on that defense, and that's not a good proposition there for the defense of Sioux Falls.
Second and 5 at the 41-yard line. 1:48 to go in the first. 2 backs and 2 receivers for Christensen. Well, either way, Christensen's first name. 4-3 look for the Sparrows once more. Deep ball, tipped up in the air, popped up again, and intercepted by Terrell Davis. A bouncing ball. Just when you think gravity matters, it doesn't sometimes, as Davis
was that 2 or 3 tips we saw there.
Makes the play. And look at where he came from to make the play.
Well,
made a beeline.
Yeah,
to the football.
definitely.
So Sioux Falls gets the first turnover of the night, and that belongs to Terrell Davis. It's Davis's third pick of the season as Terrazas makes the reception on the outside.
And just like Jacksonville, Sioux Falls that drove down the field, it looked like with ease up until the end zone, but they were able to put it in, unlike Jacksonville.
Tight set here for Sioux Falls' offense. They have been killing teams with these heavy looks. It's so hard to figure out what exactly they're going to run out of them. This time they run to Hart, far side. Got a few. Tackle made by Alex Bond to set up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, time for the Jacksonville defense to settle in there and get a stop. They can't keep. They can't let Sioux Falls keep driving down the field like this.
Crowd stands up for defense. Both these teams wanting to improve to 4-2 after tonight, and Wells is not going to get there. And what's interesting about that, Charles, is they left Colin Hart wide open up top, and they were not fooled. They knew Wells was getting the carry.
Yeah, they were going to the wells too many times.
Nice. Very good. We are on a roll. 15 seconds here in the first as the quarter trickles away. Just 4 total possessions in the quarter. 2 for each squad. Both teams score on their first possession, and then Jacksonville turns it over on their second. Sioux Falls punts on their second. Fair catch called for by Jones at the 33-yard line. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. Sioux Falls 6 and Jacksonville 3. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans, and we will be right back. Back here in Jacksonville, 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line for the Kings following the fair catch. The 6th of 6 SFL games here today. 2 receivers to either side as that ball is dumped off over the middle to Willis, and a pickup of 6 to the 39-yard line.
You got to give credit to the Jacksonville defense there. They were able to keep Sioux Falls from capitalizing on that turnover, so basically just nullifies the interception.
Second down and 4 at the 39-yard line. 10:28 to go in the first half. 6-3. Sioux Falls leads. The handoff goes to Willis. First down up the middle. Willis still going past midfield. Look at the burst from Willis all the way down to the 34-yard line. And a first down for Jacksonville, and one of the best runs I've seen out of Willis all season long.
Yeah, that was a shifty run there. Yeah, he was able to weave his way through that line. The first hole wasn't open. He went for it to the second option and just like hit another gear and was able to get that first down.
I don't know how he squeezed through there. It looked like Davis initially had the wrap up, but got kind of caught up in the wash as Barnhart had to clean up the mess. 1st and 10 at the Sparrow 34. Christensen operating quickly. Pass caught on a little slant route to Willis for the first down.
Again, it's amazing. It's amazing watching this offense operate, how quickly they get that ball off. It's very hard for the defense to react in time. As soon as the snap is off, it looks like the receiver has it 10 yards down the field.
Both offenses have looked impressive, have looked steady. Gerald Smith on stats tonight. What does he say? 12 of 16 for 124 yards for Christensen, 55 yards for Gossett, 44 for Willis, and 42 all-purpose yards for Jared Willis. Grayson Willis was the first Willis I mentioned, as Ken Gossett makes another grab. 5 catches for 64 yards. And Jacksonville surprisingly tearing up this very good secondary.
Yeah, and they're tearing it up in the middle, which is unusual. Normally you see some vulnerability there on the corners, but looks like they're putting some emphasis on defense on the corners and allowing that middle open.
We showed at the start of the game, Christensen tried to hit up on a trap. He lost the ball. He fumbled the football. He was trying to hand it off to Willis, and when that was blown up in the backfield, Sioux Falls ends up making the play. And coming in to force the fumble was Fuentes, and then on the recovery, Jonathan Camp. What an effort by the Sparrow defense.
Yeah, what an effort there by Camp to pick that ball up. He was smart enough to see, kept his head on a swivel, saw that ball open, and he just picked it up, scooped it up, got the ball back for Sioux Falls.
In the red zone, what a tremendous play by by Sioux Falls' front four. And this time, Hunter Norwood says, anything you can do, I can do better. And he nearly forces a fumble on Tyree. And I got a text from one of our number one fans, Charles, and she says, going to the wells too many times. She really liked that line.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Loved it.
I do birthday parties.
Yeah, you told people you do birthday parties.
Is it bad?
One self-promotion a broadcast. Second and 10 at the 8. Tyree flips it outside. Oh, the corner on the outside, I think, thought that Warren was going to cut in. He cut out and ends up getting the first down to the 18.
Yeah, he was facing the wrong way when Warren got that ball. But I think this is the first time Warren's been targeted in his first reception of the game.
First down and 10 at the 18-yard line now for the Sparrows, fresh off the turnover. 3 in the backfield now. First time we've seen this type of heavy set out of Sioux Falls tonight. Lewis is at the bottom of the screen. The handoff goes to Hart, and not much there for Colin Hart.
Well, you're going to have to give him a couple pitches to get warmed up. I mean, he's not going to take it home every time. A guy like Hart takes a couple runs for him to get into his groove.
Second down and 10 at the 18-yard line. As Tyree's pass is caught by Warren up to the 33. Another first down chain-moving play for A.J. Warren, who has found himself all of a sudden the veteran of this young group.
Yeah, definitely the veteran, and he's starting to heat up a bit as well. That's his second reception within the span of, 30 seconds on the play clock.
Gooden on the tackle. That was Sir Chappelle on the previous Warren reception that kind of got all types of turned around. First and 10 at the 33-yard line. I formation. Tyree going to throw. He'll flip it outside to Hart. Hart got a block, but a nice play made by Chad Gunn on the outside. Back to Warren. He is first on Sioux Falls in receptions, yards per catch, targets, and just one behind Riley Porter, who was a MVP in the Pro Bowl and was released earlier this year, and that's why Warren is stepping up into the spotlight now.
Well, he's definitely going to need to step up into the spotlight. The other 3 players receiving are all rookies, and I think they're going to have to step up as well.
Second and 8 at the 34. A quick flip and then sort of getting twisted around was Terrazas up front, and Tyree wanted a pass interference, and let's get another look at it. Did he get there early?
I don't know. It looked like he got there right on time.
It looked like Lawless just whacked it away.
Yep.
Nice play by JR up front. Guy made the previous tackle. He was picked up from San Francisco, and Jacksonville usually not known for their linebacking core, but they've made some big upgrades here in the offseason, and now Tyree on a 3rd and 8 is forced to go empty 5 wide. 2 for 3 on third down so far tonight is Sioux Falls. 7:07 to go in the first half. Tyree against a little bit of a blitz. Back to throw. Caught. First down. Through the middle to Terrain James, 6 foot 200.
Yeah, and the one common theme is the timing that the quarterback has. I mean, that offensive line gave him at least 3 seconds to get that ball off, and that's like all day in NFL terms.
There again, you saw some confusion. That was Succo Lamano, the slot safety, who seemed to think that he should be in one spot and then decided to vacate the zone there on Terrazas as the handoff goes to Wells up front. He picks up 2 yards with Hale getting the stop.
Again, I like the game planning for Sioux Falls on this, the good mix of run and pass, and it looks like they've got the Jacksonville defense on their heels a bit.
2nd down and 8 at the 49-yard line. There's a look at Hale up front. And some more empty for Tyree. Boy, I haven't seen them run this much spread for most of this season. Tyree going to throw. Ball slants over the middle, and Terrazas makes another catch. He has been targeted early and often in this game. Chad Guy makes the stop just 1 yard shy of the sticks.
Yeah, that all slants, that's a tough play to stop. And, especially when you have a quarterback, a veteran quarterback like that can get the ball out quickly and quickly read the defense.
3rd down and 1 at the 43, 3 in the backfield. Tyree going to hand it off to Hart. That play looked ugly from the start. Colin Hart keeps the wheels churning, but they said that the officials said that his knee went down before the sticks. A very close call, Charles. Maybe they just go for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that'd be great. I mean, that was an ugly play from the start. I thought he was going to get brought down in the backfield.
They seem to almost all run into each other. They got the offense out there on 4th and 1, but will they actually go for it? They will. Hand off to Wells. The fullback got the first down to the 40. A 3-yard gain on 4th down, and Sioux Falls moves the chains.
Yeah, that's showing your offensive line that you've got confidence in them to make the holes open for that critical 4th down run.
1st and 10 at the Jacksonville 40. The drive continues in a surprisingly low-scoring game. Handoff to Wells. Wells up the middle, picks up 5.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but he's getting, 3, 4, 5, 6 yards a pop.
By the way, 4th downs for Sioux Falls this season. The Sparrows, a perfect 4 for 4 now on 4th downs rather. They are the number 1 4th down team in the SFL, unknown stat. 2nd and 5 at the Kings 34, and Warren actually lights up Gooden to prevent the interception. That was an amazing play by Warren on a terrible throw.
Well, that's what a veteran does. I mean, he does everything he can to keep the defense from getting the ball, and that's just a savvy move.
There's only a couple other teams that are still perfect on 4th downs this season.
Jacksonville
is one of them at 1 for 1 this year. 3rd and 5 at the 34. Another 3rd down for Tyree. Sidearm throw outside, caught by Wells. First down.
Wow.
And Jalen Wells, the 45th pick in this last rookie draft, is really showing out tonight. And Sioux Falls is really mixing the whole game plan around everybody.
And the quarterbacks on both teams have the cleanest uniforms. I mean, they haven't been touched yet.
That's a great point. Yeah, Tyree and Christensen have stayed very upright. Tyree's 11 of 15 for $120.
Well, Tyree messed it up a bit.
Wells picks up 4. He did, and then I was thinking back to the Christensen fumble. That really wasn't his fault. It just kind of was a play that got blown up. But other than that, everything stayed clean.
Cam gave me the "don't interrupt me again" face. I'm sorry.
I did not. You make me sound like a monster. 2nd and 6 at the 22. 2 backs and 2 receivers. Tyree flips it outside again to Wells. Wells turns down the sideline to the 14-yard line, and that ends up being a 12-yard gain.
Love it when the fullback is involved in the game plan. It makes it so much harder for the defense to try and scheme on who to shut down.
Check that, a 10-yard pickup, but still, Wells able to move the chains, and this has really been a kind of a shocking first half because Jacksonville's had the ball 3 times, and it's almost halftime. Sioux Falls has controlled this game and have really bled this first half away, as Wells only got a couple but got yet another carry. And for Sioux Falls, that is play number that can't be right, that it's been a 22-play drive.
Yeah,
although
that seems a little high, but
although they've been on the field forever.
Right, milking the clock.
2nd and 8 at the 12. 2.5 to go in the first half, and Wells got another yard, and this is gut check time here for Sioux Falls' offense.
This is they're in a tough situation there. 3rd and 7 on the 11-yard line. Again, the field's not quite as big for them to get the pass downfield.
We'll see if they snap it before the 2-minute warning. Another empty set here for Tyree. Up 6-3 on Jacksonville. Tyree pump fake now goes in zone, and the pass was a little late. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and for the fans, a field goal likely coming up on the other side of this break. We're back to Jacksonville in a moment. .159 to go in the first half. 6-3. Got some correction at the break. This will be the 20th play of the drive for Sioux Falls, and the 27-yard field goal is up and good. Before today, Charles, we don't have on record any team ever having a 20-play drive. Seattle had a 20-play, 99-yard drive.
Wow.
Earlier today, and Sioux Falls has a 20-play drive that ends in a field goal right there.
Yeah, that's impressive, but you have to tip your cap to Jacksonville for keeping them out of the end zone. I mean, now they can overcome. It's much easier to overcome that 6 points.
35 plays for Sioux Falls to 20 for Jacksonville in the first half. Jones on the return. Oh, Hunter Jones, the kicker to beat, and Jones is going to tie the game and going to walk in the end zone. An amazing play by Hunter Jones to score the touchdown.
Wow. That I believe that's his first kickoff return for a touchdown. That was impressive. Definitely impressive. I thought he was good and down. He was able to fight through that flurry of defenders.
I mean, split the difference. That was a 7-10 split if I've ever seen one. And Hunter Jones puts the 10 in the 7-10 split and puts 9 on the board for Jacksonville. And boy,
that's the way you answer.
Need that.
Definitely.
Now the defense is probably saying, hey, Could you have done that on any other drive after we were on the field for 20 plays in a row?
Right.
Now we're gonna have to go back out there.
Put down your oxygen mask and get back out there.
Gee whiz. So not the greatest timing for the defense, but terrific timing for the Jacksonville Kings, who will take the lead on this extra point. And hey, Jacksonville's defense will give you another little bit of a break and give you 30 more seconds. We'll be back to Jacksonville after this. .142 to go in the first half, 10-9. Jacksonville has the lead over Sioux Falls off of the tremendous kickoff return from Hunter Jones. Made about 4 different people miss, and he gets it into the end zone. From 1 yard deep, A.J. Levy trying to answer back, and not even close. Gets out to the 22-yard line. And Charles, this is a bit of a soap opera tonight. The young and the veterans. 24 combined seasons for Jacksonville's secondary to only 5 for Sioux Falls. There's only one player on this Sioux Falls receiving corps that isn't a rookie, and it's a veteran-laden group for the Kings. It's really going to be a fascinating battle tonight as Wells gets it for a yard up the gut.
Yeah, a little surprised they're running up the gut. Thought maybe they'd open it up a little bit here with a minute and some change on the clock.
Yeah, take advantage of the tired Kings defense, I would have guessed. 1:13 to go, first half. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. SimulationFL.net is the website, and simulation.football if you want more information on how to be a player. His heart's not going to get anywhere. Chappelle on the tackle.
I think they're just, looks like they're just trying to run the clock out and get to the locker room.
3rd down and 9. Tyree going to give it one more look. Look at this press coverage on the line by Jacksonville. And there's a flag and then a drop over the middle of the. He was open too. They might have gotten a holding or a PI. Boy, they were playing very aggressive on the 3rd down. And yeah, it's going to be a defensive holding on Michael Sprouse, the corner that was up at the top of the screen defending Lewis. I'm not sure we're going to get another look at that.
Yeah.
Might not have had an angle. Either way, results in automatic first down.
Yep, Sioux Falls has life.
35 seconds, and it stops the clock, saving a timeout. It is a spot foul up to the 28-yard line. Heavy set, 2 in the backfield. Wells is off the left of Tyree. He'll get the handoff, and Wells up the middle will pick up 4. And then Sioux Falls calls a timeout. Well, this is one way to have a 2-minute offense down the field.
Yeah, that's interesting. Again, I don't know why they're running the fullback up the middle, but I'm in the booth, not on the field.
Tonight, anyway. Your Vancouver Legion now 6-0. Gotta be super proud of that.
I am.
37-17 win over St. Louis earlier today. 2nd and 6 at the 32-yard line. Tyree out of the gun. Will flip out an out route. And Lewis ran it just short of the sticks. And he's saying that chain gang guy, you move that. I saw you move that.
They wouldn't even give him 3rd and inches. I mean, he was right on the yellow line.
3rd and 1 at the 28-yard line. And crowd getting full throat again here Jacksonville up by 1 thanks to a kickoff return touchdown. And we've seen a blocked extra point, a quarterback fumble inside the 5. We've seen just a little bit of everything. Wells takes the handoff, and now Sioux Falls running no huddle. Their own 43. I'm not sure they have a pass out of this formation, and they'll hand it off to Wells again, and this is going nowhere fast. Sprouse and Bond on the tackle.
No huddle for a fullback run.
Yeah, this isn't looking too sharp. 4 seconds left. Are they even going to be able to get a timeout off? They will. Tyree will gun a Hail Mary down the field to see if Sioux Falls can get something moving. A little bit mismanaged there towards the end of the half.
I wouldn't gun it. I'd let the clock run out because I believe they get the ball back in the second half, right? You don't want
They do, yes.
You don't want to give it back to you don't want an interception that they can take back. I know it doesn't happen very often, but
at their own
don't give the ball to Jacksonville.
Right, at their own 48. Well, in this secondary, I mean, they feast.
They do.
And you can't give them any sort of momentum. 3rd and 5 at the 48-yard line. Tyree facing a vicious front 4-man rush. Good protection at least for a while. But then the sack made on the back end of the play by Vince Townsend, the defensive end on the outside. And Jacksonville gets the last laugh of the first half with a 10-9 advantage heading into the break.
That rhyme.
I also do birthday parties. Your thoughts on the first half, Charles?
I mean, I think the defenses on both sides are playing a step above the offenses. I mean, I think the offense needs to settle in, maybe make some adjustments at halftime. Again, there's been a couple miscues that kept some extra points off the board, and also as they got closer to the end zone, I think both teams stumbled a little bit. So the offense definitely on both sides needs to make some adjustments.
You know, Sioux Falls doubled up Jacksonville in time of possession. They also were +2 in turnover differential, and they got to be thinking, how are we down at the half? Well, Hunter Jones is one.
Well, this first series for Sioux Falls is going to be a pretty big one, and I think they're going to need to answer up and put points on the board.
That crazy tip to Terrell Davis made things happen early for the Sioux Falls defense. I'd like to see them get Willis more involved. Look at this run.
That was sweet.
He totally faked out A.J. Levy there by going back inside. That was awesome.
Yeah, he's got the ability to put some yards on the field.
There's a look at Maxwell's kick. The pressure was coming. Overall, he's had a tremendous season, and a little bit of sense of urgency out of both these teams. I think when Sioux Falls started 3-0, as you look at the phenomenal return again for Jones, when Sioux Falls started 3-0, Jacksonville was cooking early, especially after losing to Atlanta. They had won 3 straight, but lost last week. Both these teams feel like we're not 3-3 ball clubs, but one of these teams, that's where they're going to end up after tonight.
Now, expecting one of these offenses to explode in the second half. Yeah, it's like you're waiting for something big to happen.
Well, the Sparrows will get the ball to start the second half, and Levy, the ever dangerous return man, back deep for the Sparrows in yellow tonight. Jacksonville wearing their home purples, white helmets, white pants. 1 yard deep in the end zone. Levy will take it again. He'll outrun his return and get up to the 22-yard line. That's never good. Tyree.
So it looks like somebody dragged Alex Bond on the field on that play.
Tyree back out there. 13 of 18, $135 in the first half. A QBR of 93.5, and went without an interception in that first half, which is critical. Interceptions just a part of the game here in the SFL, and Julian Tyree has thrown his fair share. The handoff goes to Hart. Hart gets away, and again a defender thinking he was going to go somewhere else ended up falling down behind the play, and on the first play of the half, Colin Hart scores a touchdown. What in the world?
Hey, well, the first half was the Jalen Wells show, and the second half is starring Colin Hart so far. I mean, that's exactly what they needed to do. That's a way to answer up and take the lead off that massive run.
It almost looked like a defender ran into his teammate. They both collided and fell over in the backfield.
Wow.
And that defensive play brought to you by Milk, because they're all on that carton after that one. 10:44 left in the third. And you called it, Charles, at the half. You thought there'd be an offensive explosion, and maybe we'll get more of that.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully on both sides.
The Kapows flooding the chat from Sioux Falls. The high snap, and the kick is up and good. And we'll take a break. Jacksonville trying to catch their breath. Hit in the head with a shovel to start the third quarter. They're down 6. We're back to Jacksonville in a moment. $10:44 to go in the third quarter. Sioux Falls back in front. We've had 2 explosive plays, a 20-yard drive, a blocked extra point, a quarterback fumble, and maybe one too many fullback dives before the half as Hunter Jones returns it up past the 20 and switches hands down to the 25-yard line where he's wrapped up by Aaron Brown. So Christensen's going to have to answer that, and Charles, his name doesn't fit anywhere. It doesn't fit on the back of the uniform, and it never fits on any of our graphics. But his skills are unbelievable. He's first this season in completion percentage, 71.9% career completion percentage. That's 7th all-time in the SFL.
I think it's also impressive is his career QBR is 94.5 and a 71.8% career. I mean, that's incredible.
That'll work in the SFL as Willis gets the reception for 7 yards. Visit Sector6Apparel.com for all league and team apparel, including hoodies, t-shirts, team jerseys, and more. Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the SFL, and Sioux Falls, the most recent team to launch their store, and they've got some awesome gear on their site.
I'm wearing gear right now.
You are. 2nd and 3 at the 33, 10:05 to go in the third, and Sioux Falls got a little jumpy. That ball nearly taken to the house, but I think Barnhart realized it wasn't worth his trouble, and he just lets that one go.
A new set of 4.
You know who's been quiet tonight, Charles? Jay Ringgold. Haven't said his name hardly at all, the free safety for Sioux Falls. And we found a fascinating stat during our prep for this, but if Jay Ringgold were to get a pick 6 tonight or in any game in the future, he would have the most defensive touchdowns of any player in SFL history, and he's
incredible.
in his 4th season.
Definitely.
So keep an eye out on Ringgold here down the stretch, especially if Jacksonville attempts to go deep. Willis picks up 7, and that's probably one of the reasons why we haven't heard his name too much as Levy makes the tackle. The Kings, a very methodical offense. They don't take a ton of deep shots down the middle of the field.
I was gonna answer your question, Jared Willis. I mean, I was thinking maybe they might run him a little bit more, maybe get him a little bit more involved in the passing game.
No, you're right. 2 carries, 34 yards for Willis tonight. That's an absurd figure. 9.5 to go in the third, and Christensen will keep on throwing. Dumps it off short to Wall, and Wall only gets a yard. Credit Fuentes on that tackle, and Levy's excited about it, forcing a 3rd down.
I mean, I wish we could get an instant replay here and just look at the job that offensive line is doing. I think they sent an extra man in there, and they weren't getting anywhere near that quarterback.
This will be the third down for Jacksonville tonight. Sioux Falls has had 10. 3rd and 1 at the 47 for Christensen, and Christensen nearly got sacked,
That was
and he
huge.
dumped it off to Willis, and Fuentes makes yet another tackle in front of the sticks. A 2-yard loss, and I'd love to get a replay, and we will get a replay on this, but not from Christensen's perspective. Somebody dove at Christensen, and it really rattled him.
Yeah, but that closing speed of Jose Fuentes was just remarkable. He was able to run down and do that open field tackle. That's hard to do at that angle.
That was Zeke Zimmerman who dove at Christensen at his feet to sort of bother that pass. And Christensen, while 16 of 20, just for 138 yards, averaging 6.9 yards per attempt, as Levy will field this punt from the 15-yard line, spin away from one, and get wrapped up at the 19. 8:22 to go in the third quarter. We'll step aside. Sparrows lead 16-10 over the Kings, and you're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. And for the fans, we'll tell you how you can get involved when we come back. .8:22 to go in the third quarter. Sparrows lead 16-10, and they've got the football. Along with Gerald Smith on stats, Charles Doherty, my analyst, here next to me in the booth. I'm Cameron Irvine, as Tyree gets nothing on that sneak. He picked up 7 earlier, and a big threat, it looked like, from Charles Dunbar up front.
Yeah, he wasn't going anywhere on that. There was no hole open whatsoever.
Dunbar's kind of shaking his fist at him. A little scary down there in the trenches. Tyree's got to be careful. 2nd and 10 at the 19-yard line. 7:52 to go in the third. Sioux Falls trying to expand on their lead. Tyree's pass caught by Gunnar Lewis. And Lewis, who's only playing in his second game, shows his athleticism. He got up for that one.
And that pass by Tyree was on a laser. A very small hole to get in. Very impressive.
7.5 left. Look at Wells all the way on the outside of this trip set. That's an interesting formation for Sioux Falls. Let's see what they do with it. This is Tyree over the middle to Warren, and Wells was trailing A.J. Warren, but Warren makes the first down catch. That's the 3rd time his reception has gone for a first down.
So here we are almost at the midway point in the third quarter, and I'm waiting for a quarterback to get touched.
Well, Tyree just took that sneak. And
not the sneak. That doesn't count.
The sacks. The sacks.
The sacks.
I don't think that the Christensen play counts as a sack.
No.
It was a busted play, so no sacks here tonight. Handoff to Wells, and Wells will pick up a couple down there in the trenches. Chad Guy with another tackle. Townsend was there to help.
It looks like with Hart and Wells both scoring touchdowns. It reminds me of the Storm offense of old when they had Williams and Merrill in the backfield there, and how difficult it was to defend.
So true, and it harkens back to those times where old school football was prevalent, maybe a little bit more so in the SFL. Wyo makes a stop on Hart to set up 3rd and 3. For those of you viewing for the first time, what are you watching? The Simulation Football League is the first controllerless esport, allowing you, the viewer, to participate in all the action on the field without a controller in your hands. Visit simulation.football for details on how to get started with a team and in the league. And on 3rd down and 3, Hartle follows some blockers, get a first down, 45-40. Hart busts it out near side, past the 30, and Chappelle wraps him up at the 26-yard line. Hart quickly up to 117 yards tonight.
Yeah, very quickly. I mean, that right-off tackle there, he's extremely dangerous. I mean, when he gets that extra step, there's not many people in the league that can run him down.
And Wells blocked Wyo into Georgia on that play. 5:40 to go in the third quarter, and Sioux Falls trying to take the first 2-possession lead of any team tonight. Here's an I formation heavy look again with Terrazas on the near side to the left, and Wells picks up 4, running that way. Lamano on the stop.
That's impressive going up the middle like that. I mean, his average is, it's got to be at least 3 to 5 yards on carry. It's incredible.
And Gerald Smith keeping us honest, Charles. He's like the fact checker on Around the Horn. First
the
sack
Hail
was on the
Mary.
Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Wow, the Hail.
Hail Schmail. I'm sorry.
Schmail Sari. 2nd and 6, handoff to Wells,
Look at
and
that.
Wells, he got the first down off the hit. I think Sioux Falls should challenge that, although they're picking up chunks of yardage each time they run the ball.
I mean, he's not he's not doing any cuts. He's not doing any spins. He's just running it straight down the field, and they don't have an answer. They don't know how to stop him.
Wells, 55 yards on 19 carries for the fullback. 3rd and inches, handoff Hart, running left again, 10,
go.
behind Wells, touchdown! Wells gets the block to Spring Hart, and Sioux Falls is now up by 12 on the road.
Wow. What a luxury to have 2 quality backs in the backfield, and what a nightmare it is to try and defend against.
There's Wells right at the end of
Oh,
that
my
play
gosh.
on Wyo again.
Yep.
He's had Wyo's number tonight, and the 2 backs in the backfield combined tonight now have 28 carries for 189 yards and 3 touchdowns on this Jacksonville run defense.
It's very impressive. 14.9 yards per carry for Hart.
Jacksonville coming in gave up just 80.8 yards on the ground. That was 6th best in the SFL, but that average is taking a hit tonight as Sioux Falls has brought their rugged and bruising offense to Florida with success so far. 4:31 to go in the third, 23-10 Sioux Falls. We're back in a moment. Four and a half to go in the third quarter. Sioux Falls has the first 2-possession lead of the night, and on the road here in Jacksonville, winning 23-10, a team they have beaten in all 3 previous meetings, and they have the edge tonight. Jones gets it out to the 26, and this offense has to do something, and I'm just going to say it, Charles. It needs to be Jared Willis. 2 carries, 34 yards. Find your mismatch.
You got to get that man involved, and you got to answer. 2 unanswered touchdowns. You got to do something. This is creeping away.
4:26 to go in this third frame. Jacksonville's only touchdown of the night, a Hunter Jones kickoff return. The offense has not scored any points since the first drive of the game, as Willis gets slammed down for no gain by Jonathan Camp, the 29th pick of this year's draft.
Yeah, Camp is having a very good game. He had that key fumble recovery down there on the end zone, and he's plugging up the holes on the line as well.
2nd down and 10 at the 25. 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Christensen with 5 in the box. He'll throw. And Christensen got it.
Unbelievable.
To the 40. And once he lets that football go, it is a missile. And Willis hauls it in for his 5th grab.
Very accurate throw by Christensen, but what a catch. I mean, unbelievable catch there by Willis. When you're going for a ball and you know you're going to get lit up, I mean, that's just incredible.
Right over the head of Alex Parker. 3.5 left, 1st and 10 at the 40. Trips right, handoff, Willis up the middle, and Willis has a lot of room, and saving the touchdown was Jay Ringgold. Willis, another huge gain to the Sioux Falls 45.
I mean, that hole, you could have drove 2 trailway buses through that. Look how big that hole was up the middle. Unbelievable. great blocking up front by the Jacksonville offensive line.
Wasn't any double team blocks, just everybody just kind of bailed out of that center field, and wow, very unusual big gain against the Sparrows defense. We've got some.
You're going to get Willis involved. They're doing the right thing.
Yeah, Willis 49 yards on 4 carries. 4 wide here again for Christensen. They'll run a trap to Willis. Willis will break a tackle before Levy puts him down. And this Sioux Falls defense, they're top 5 in a lot of categories. 2nd in first downs allowed. 3rd in total defense. 4th in pass touchdowns allowed. They haven't allowed any tonight. And they give up just 78.6 yards on the ground. That's 5th best in the league.
And A.J. Levy can lay you out. As was seen on that play.
2nd and 4, another handoff to Willis. So Jacksonville is listening, trying to counter this attack. 10.7 yards a carry, and it's not often, Charles, that both running backs in a game in the 3rd quarter are averaging over 10 yards a touch.
And it's often they don't listen to us either.
But they are tonight. It must be somebody's birthday. 1st and 10 at the 32. 2 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. 3 receivers, 2 to the left. 6 in the box for Sioux Falls. Jacksonville finding some success on the ground game. Christensen going to take a deep drop back fire at far side. Caught by Gossett.
Wow.
The 18-yard line on a rope that was pulled tight to Kenny G.
Yeah, on a rope is right. And again, not a lot of room to get that ball in, but he got it right where only the receiver could catch it. Right there on the sideline, on the outside. Unbelievable.
An underrated degree of difficulty to the far side of the field on a very long out route to Gossett. That gives Gossett 78 yards. Willis has 66. Wall has 11. And Hunter Jones doesn't have a catch tonight, but has the kickoff return touchdown. Handoff to Willis, and Jose Fuentes again makes the hit. Fuentes in his 4th season by way of Atlanta. But he's been here for a while, and he just crushed Willis.
Him. He went in the air. That was a WWE move right there, off the top rope.
Charge pay-per-view for that.
Holy
type of hit.
mackerel.
2nd and 12, just inside the red zone for Jacksonville, trying to get this back to a 1-score game. Christensen fires it outside. Oh, what a great block down the field, and Gossett looks at Terrell Davis and says, "Oh, I got you, young fella."
Yeah, he wasn't expecting it, and he got laid out by Willis.
The timing of that was exceptional.
That was just mean.
What a tremendous catch from Willis. Better block from Gossett. 3rd and 2 at the 9. Jacksonville only 1 for 3 on 3rd down. Sioux Falls 7 of 12. Trap play. Willis got the first down. Look at Fuentes. Fuentes at the end of the play, leaping over everybody just to try to get a speck of skin.
These players are fired up. Unbelievable. I'm glad they didn't forget Willis. I mean, he got him there. Keep feeding him.
Yeah, up to 12 touches now for Willis. That's more than any other offensive skill player, to Jacksonville's credit. 1st and goal at the 7 might be the final play of the quarter. Again, they go 4 wide, and they spread Sioux Falls out. Only 5 in the box. Christensen going to pass. Christensen looking Gossett's direction. That pass is incomplete. Well defended by John Barnhart on the outside. Stops the clock with 6 seconds to go in the frame.
You know, I think if he would have put the ball a little on the outside, I think that Gossett had it all day. And you don't normally see Christensen do that. I mean, the play's moving pretty darn quick, but a little to the outside, I think he would have hit pay dirt.
Yeah, I was looking for that deep out at the top, but he ended up going to the pylon, and Barnhart read it well. 2 in the backfield, 2nd and goal at the 7. Christensen going to pass outside Gossett, and he's tackled at the 2. Levy saves the touchdown. Put your 4s up in the chat. Sioux Falls up 23-10 over Jacksonville. We're back to the King's Kingdom after this. 3rd and goal at the 2 as we come back here to start in the 4th quarter. Sioux Falls up 13, but Jacksonville is knocking on the door. Out of the gun with Willis to his right. Christensen will check it down there, and Willis tried to fight his way and almost got into the end zone.
Yeah, you can't hit him for lack of effort. Man, he was churning those legs. I thought he was going to get in the end zone, but the defense, great stand.
I know that they're kicking it here, Charles, but you're at home.
Nope, I think you gotta go for it.
I'd go for it here. God, 1 yard to go.
They should have tried to run it and knowing they were going to go for it on 4th down if he didn't get in.
And that's the 2nd time inside the 5-yard line. Well, really, you could call it the 3rd time inside the 5-yard line that Sioux Falls has gotten a stop. They forced a field goal on the first possession. Then they get the fumble on Christensen on the broken play. And then they get another stop here on the goal line. That's the difference in this game.
It definitely is. But the thing about when Sioux Falls gets the ball, they can burn up the clock, which is, at this point, that's not a friend to Jacksonville.
And the kick is away, and so the Kings still have more work to do. In a 2-score game, Levy will take a knee. If you're new to the SFL, get your spot in the SFL Minor League, SFLM, today to #claim your spot and begin your SFL career. Subscriptions are going fast, and the inaugural season kickoff begins in April. That's almost a month from now. First Pro subscribers get first priority on choosing their position, so don't delay your career another second. We can't wait for you to #make an impact. Of course, the next draft is in June. The next convention is in July. Full calendar, as always, here in the SFL as Hart picks up 5, up to $138. Got 78 of them all on that touchdown run.
Here we go with the 1-2 punch of Sioux Falls. Jacksonville hasn't had any way to answer for it.
There's a look at J.R. Lawless, who's been a little bit quiet in this second half. Sparrows protecting a 10-point advantage, trying to get their 4th win in a row over the Kings franchise. Hart is just pushed away in the most aggressive of ways by Michael Sprouse.
that was a big hit by Michael Sprouse. Big 3rd down for Jacksonville. They got to get the ball back here.
It's like one of those pushes on the playground where no, get away from me. Except instead of 2 6-years-old, it's about a 35-year-old or 6-year-old out there. Wells will not get the 1st down, and that'll be a punt.
That was a good story, Keith.
It sounded better in my head.
You went all the way through it. I respect that.
But I had to.
You kept with it, man.
I just to be clear, no adult man ever came to my playground as a child and pushed me down. That's I'm not reliving any sort of traumatic experience there.
Okay, that's good. I feel a lot better.
We need a commercial. Jones to the 35. Hey, look at that. 8:49 to go in the 4th quarter. Jacksonville's got the ball back, and who knows what other stories I'll tell after the break. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. 8:49 left to go in the fourth. Still plenty of life here for the Jacksonville Kings, trying to avoid 3-3. And 500 mediocrity as that pass is caught by Wall to pick up 4 to the 39-yard line. And while Wall has not seen any deep targets down the field, he has been a reliable pass catcher all night.
Yeah, and Christensen just floated it over the, I believe it was a linebacker. I didn't get the number on it, but floated right over his hands. Unbelievable accuracy.
Christensen empty backfield here with 4 receivers, but press coverage on the line here for Sioux Falls. Jacksonville got flagged earlier tonight in a similar formation. They dump it off on an underneath route. Chasing the receiver was Alex Parker, and making that catch was Trevor Swain, his first. Hunter Jones, you see him walking back to the huddle still without a catch tonight on 3rd and 4.
I think this might be 2-down territory if they don't get it here.
On the 41-yard line, 7:45 to go. They're going to hand it off to Willis, and Willis cannot get away from Jay Ringgold. Down to 7.2 yards a carry, and here's another 4th and 2.
You think they should go for it, Cam?
No, I think you got to punt it. I don't agree with you this time.
That's okay.
I agree with you last time.
It's all right.
It's okay to disagree. You don't sound so sure.
No, it's all right. I'm just kidding. No, it's all good.
Sioux Falls comes after that one, and Levy back to return the punt past the 20 up to the 21-yard line. Well, we've seen some awesome defense tonight. Michael Sprouse, who mentioned it earlier, leads the league in pass deflections. Barnhart coming in had 7. By the way, this is coming into the game. These are your pass deflection leaders, so still nobody holding a candle to Sprouse, and week 6 is already almost over.
That's unbelievable.
They're going to need Sprouse on this possession here. Jacksonville's defense has to get off the field as quickly as possible. This is one of the hardest teams to get off the field quickly, as Hart picks up 2 yards, now under 7 to play.
Just milk the clock. Use both your backs to the utmost and just get that clock winding down.
Well, we've had a flurry of activity already in the SFL this week. Chicago got their 4th win in a row, and they beat Florida for the first time in franchise history. Queen City improved to 4-2 with a 13-6 slugfest victory over Carolina. Earlier today, Atlanta did just enough to beat Arizona, but a very competitive game there in the ATL, as that will bring up a 3rd down and 8. Vancouver improved to 6-0 behind over 200 yards from your boy here, Pseudo Nakai, over St. Louis. Las Vegas fell to Seattle. Seattle just, crushed Vegas. They actually hurt 3 different Fury players in the game, including their quarterback, Tom Rahman. Tulsa gets a road victory over London, 30-13. By the way, Zach Salin had 43 carries in that game earlier. And Mexico City ended up topping Denver on the road, as that pass is caught on 3rd down to the 37-yard line.
That hurts
Giant
for Jacksonville.
Play.
That hurts for Jacksonville.
Dillapre Sr. on the catch.
Again, both quarterbacks have all the time in the world to get rid of that ball. And the unlike most games that I've seen, the middle appears to be wide open.
Bond with the huge hit, and yeah, I would agree with you. The Tallahassee, it really hasn't been the linebackers. Linebackers have played quite well, but that back end of the secondary has left a lot of holes in the deep middle of the field. There's another one. That pass is caught by James for a 1st down to the Jacksonville 46, and this is not boding well for a King comeback.
Yeah. Well, so much for milking the clock. They're moving down the field. They want to put some more points on the board, it looks like.
Tyrese, 17 of 23 for 184 yards. Lewis, 64 yards on 4 receptions. Warren's been targeted the most with 5, as Wells takes the handoff inside for 2 yards. Download the ScoreStream app and follow your favorite team for live scoring updates when you aren't able to catch a game live. You can follow just your team or the entire league. The first esport league on the ScoreStream app. The Simulation Football League, 2nd and 8.
That's impressive. Looking at Wells' number, 62 yards up the middle. That's incredible.
He has been incredibly consistent, and again, Wells keeping them ahead of the chains, Charles. A 3-yard gain, Hale and Guy with the combo stop.
Most of the backs in this league get their yards off tackle, and not many get it right up the middle. So again, that's an impressive game for Wells.
Huge shout-outs to Gerald Smith and the stats truck. 64 plays for Sioux Falls tonight on offense, just 43 for Jacksonville. This game is almost over. Tyree's pass is caught by Dillapre Sr., and it was almost like he was hiding behind another one of his teammates. He popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, I wish we could. Well, here we go.
We are going to get it. Watch him run this route right behind or right in front of James.
There were 3 options, and it looked like all 3 of those receivers were open.
He sniped. I'm just going to say it. He sniped the target there from James.
A lot of sniping action.
That wasn't fair. That was not fair. Dillapre Sr. making his mark tonight. It's his 3rd catch for 35 yards. Clock continues to bleed. 4:13 to go in the 4th quarter. 2 in the backfield for Tyree. And at this point, Jacksonville needs a turnover or they have to hold the 3. Otherwise, this game is over. Hart is hit in the backfield. Nobody blocked Hunter Norwood. And that is never good for your health.
Yeah, it's not good for your health. That is a very large man at 325 falling on you.
2nd and 12, under 4 minutes to play. Coming up tomorrow night, New Orleans at Houston, and then, the big one. Charles, I cannot wait for this. Baltimore and Charleston.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
2 4-1 teams. You won't want to miss it. Coverage starts around 9 Eastern tomorrow night. 3 in the backfield for Tyree. And Tyree will hand it off to Hart, and Bond makes an incredible play in the open field. One-on-one tackle to force a 3rd and 12. And even from here, field goal is not guaranteed.
No, definitely. But I think they got the ball around the 7-minute mark, and they've whittled off 4 minutes off the clock.
Under 3 minutes to play. What a fast-moving 4th quarter. Empty backfield, 5 wide for Tyree. And he takes his time. Back to pump fake. Hit as he threw hard, and it's intercepted by Alex Bond. Tyree got crushed, and it's his first pick of the night.
Yeah, he went to a different Wells this time, the passing well, and it didn't turn out too well.
Man.
Golly. I mean, they had an impressive drive. They were eating up the clock. They had to throw it. I don't know why, but the games that both those running backs are having, you can't forget them.
He got annihilated, and Jacksonville is still alive. .240 to go in the 4th. Sioux Falls up by 10. Jacksonville needs a miracle. That's not going to cut it, although Willis is going to break a tackle. Wow. And then a second getting out of bounds, throwing off A.J. Levy. And I know it's only a 5-yard gain, but that's about as good of a
that's a huge gain, though, for where they started.
Right, good of an end to that play as you could have had.
Andy stopped the clock. He would have got tackled in bounds, and they wouldn't have been able to get set in the next offense. So
2nd and 5 at the 17-yard line. 2:34 left. 4 receivers for Jacksonville, and they get a huge break to stop the clock. They're down 10, need 2 scores, probably an onside kick recovery. Still have all 3 timeouts. Pass is caught over the middle to the 38-yard line. Wrap up by A.J. Levy, and that was, once again, Trevor Swain on the reception instead of Hunter Jones, who's lined up right next to him. Pass is caught by Gossett.
Ooh.
Pickup of 8 to the 46-yard line, but he didn't get out of bounds.
I thought he did.
I thought he did too. 2:08 to play. Time ticking away. Jacksonville definitely playing with a sense of urgency now as that pass is over the middle and incomplete, but with 2 seconds left before the 2-minute warning, so Jacksonville saves and gives themselves another play.
Yeah, they had the advantage there. Looks like they had a good personnel mismatch on that series. It's too bad they couldn't keep going.
Well, here we go. Final play before the 2-minute warning. Christensen is 26 of 32, 222 yards. Changing the play at the line. Back to pass. Fires it deep to Gossett, and Barnhart gets the interception. He threw it to Gossett, who was in double coverage, Charles, and there was a wide open receiver at the top of the screen running an out, and Christensen just missed him. Here's another look at the Barnhart pick. And we'll be back for the final 2 minutes. After this, you're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. With 1:53 left, things look gloomy for Jacksonville. Down 10, just a terrible throw from Christensen here just before the break. Hart's going to try to seal this one, but Jacksonville does still have all 3 timeouts, so it's not over yet.
Yeah, let's keep the shotgun on the sidelines and let's just run the ball out, even if Jacksonville has to get the ball back.
I agree with you. We were talking during the break, Charles, if Christensen would have led Gossett more to the middle of the field, that was a touchdown.
That was a home run
over
ball
the top
right
of the
there.
defense.
It was open.
But underthrew him a little bit inside. Wells gets the carry, 3rd and 5. But at least Sioux Falls is forcing Jacksonville to burn those precious timeouts.
Yeah, just burn the clock. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket surgeon.
Only 2. A rocket surgeon. That's a combination of 2 very skilled positions.
See if you're listening.
I would love to meet this rocket surgeon. 3rd and 5 at midfield. A first down ends it. Handoff. Break and tackle. There goes Hart. And Hart gets to the 26-yard line, and that puts a wrap on it. Cullen Hart breaks away and will send Sioux Falls to 4-2.
He stays in bounds. A great run. Off tackle. He almost got brought down there. That was a great play there by Hart. I thought he was going down on the line.
Gooden had a very difficult angle.
Yep.
He was trying to tackle. Hart's running full speed there, and he tried to sort of T-bone him and just didn't have any momentum there to stop Hart with 1:40 to go. So 2 games left in Week 6. That's tomorrow night here on FTF and 11 Sports. But also a look to Week 7 here. Sioux Falls will host New Orleans, the surging Pharaohs. We'll see them tomorrow night. That game could get compelling real quick. Jacksonville hosts Baltimore, who could be 4-2, 5-1. Either way, that's a critical game for Jacksonville here at the King's Lair. So a couple of good ones on the docket for these teams in Week 7. Some other games of note in week number 7. The undefeated Legion go to Las Vegas to take on the struggling 2-4 Fury. Atlanta at 5-1 will go on the road to try to contain Zach Sandlin and the Seattle Tyrants. And in that rematch, of course, we see it on the highlight reel every time we start up a broadcast, that BDG Hollywood play where he made 4 people miss. That'll be a rematch of that one as well. And quietly, St. Louis, Chicago, the Midwest rivalry also on the docket, getting set to reload next week. One more kneel down will do it for Sioux Falls. What a game.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Tyree didn't get a touch. I don't think any quarterback got a passing touchdown, did they?
No. And both are top 5 in
Yeah.
the league coming in. I mean, the pass defenses, we talked about it with the pass deflections. We talked about it with this veteran secondary with Jacksonville. We knew that was going to be a storyline coming in, and they delivered. But the difference was that Sioux Falls just could not.
The game plan was spectacular.
It could not be denied on the ground tonight.
They had a good mix. I mean, it was hard. It's hard to scheme against that team when they've got the fullback, the running back, and the wide receivers clicking.
This might be the stat of the night, Charles, but Tyree had 25 touches, Hart had 19 touches, and Wells had 24 touches.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more balanced than that.
It doesn't. And, it's the player of the game's probably, I think, going to go to Hart. But if there's a way you can have a shared MVP of the game, I'd put Wells up there too, because he kept the pulse of the offense alive. I mean, just those. I mean, nothing flashy, just right up the middle, and he got incredible. I mean, only 2.9 yards per carry, but that was a hard 64 yards he got.
And that run, it kind of took the air out of his place here tonight. And then Hart got another off a great block from Wells. And looking ahead to Sioux Falls' schedule, after that home game against New Orleans, they do play 3 in a row on the road. They do face this Kings team again at home in Week 11. That'll be a critical game. And how about in Week 12, Sioux Falls will host Vancouver. They also travel to Seattle in Week 10, so they got plenty of tough ones left. But who knows? That game against Vancouver in the final week of the season could have
that
huge
defensive coordinator.
ramifications.
That defensive coordinator is going to have a long, hard nights of sleeping, trying to scheme against them.
So the Sparrows get a monstrous victory here tonight, and the road teams. How about the road teams? 3 wins in a row to end Sunday here in Week 6.
Yeah, man. Who says there's such a thing as home field advantage?
So Jones gets 191 yards and a touchdown on kick returns. Gossett ends up being your leading receiver tonight with 92 yards, but there were no passing touchdowns in the game. And Hart, who I think is going to get the player of the game, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns. There it is on just 17 carries. Also had a couple receiving yards. Final quick thoughts, Charles.
I mean, it was a unbelievable offense and defensive game plan by Sioux Falls. I mean, I actually going into this, I thought Jacksonville might have had the edge, but Sioux Falls played, I think near perfectly.
For Gerald Smith, Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine, the rest of our SFL presentation crew. You've been watching the Simulation Football League. What a Sunday! And we'll see you tomorrow night from Houston. Good night, everybody.
Good night.